All right, we're gonna get started. I see lots of DPS staff out here, and I see a few non-DPS staff out here. All the DPS folks, thanks for coming out. I do want to give a special acknowledgement to our incoming board member. Eric Walker is going to be taking his seat on January what? January 9th. He'll be taking his seat on January 9th. Okay, yeah. And do we have your name tag?
Yes.
Okay, we'll make sure we have your name tag. And I promise I'm only going to say this 2 or 3 more times. I was the principal of Thurgood Marshall High School. Eric Walker was a student there. I can't tell you how proud I am of him that he decided to run for public office. Many people say they want to make a change, and they complain about it on Facebook, Instagram, or all these other social spaces, right? He says, no, I'm going to get some petitions, I'm going to campaign, I'm going to run, and then I'm going to be in a position to say, hey, I can help influence the direction of a school district as part of a team. So I'm really proud that he decided to do that. And I think I'm going to be really, really excited and over the top when we get the chance to sit up on the dais on that Tuesday, and he's sitting in that space. It's going to be surreal. I've gone from being his boss to he's now one of mine. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. All right, we're going to start. Well, I'm glad to be back out on tour with my team. And we start with questions, and we had a little pattern, but I want to switch it up today. I want to give a huge shout out to PIO and that team. Adriana Davies is here. Alex, I think they kind of rotate, but that entire team, they're the ones who develop the podcast. They do all the public information for us. They're kind of like my makeup artists. They kind of help make the district and me look good, and I appreciate it. But this one they put together, unprompted too, by the way. When they sent it the other day, I must have watched this probably 50 times or more. I have it on a continuous loop in my office at home, and I listen to it while I'm working at night. This is a really, really, really good presentation of our children in our district. So we're going to start with our video. If anybody is watching this, you can tell we have some amazingly dynamic, smart, wonderful kids in Dayton Public Schools. Tell me why you're in Dayton Public Schools.
I like going to E.J. Brown because of the staff. I love
like
the
that.
staff.
Yeah, you got a new principal. He is good.
Mm-hmm.
He walks around a lot, checks on you guys. I like him.
I want to be a robotics engineer. I want to take that to college and do great things with it.
How'd you come up with that?
I'm in a pathway called advanced manufacturing, and I'm taking it currently.
So your exposure or your experience in advanced manufacturing got you start thinking about, hey, this is the field I want to go into.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Awesome.
I like going to Belmont because I like the people and I like the teachers and I like the staff and especially like the principal, Miss McDowell.
I want to go to Dayton Public Schools because I feel like every single teacher in Dayton Public Schools are really appreciated of the students that they have and show a lot of love to them.
Mm-hmm.
What I like most about the district is all of the opportunities that they have, such as DPS University, where you can earn college credits while you're still in high school. The staff is really welcoming and they're always pushing you to do your best in whatever you do.
I'm looking forward to getting some of my college credits already out of the way before I go to college. I have a lot of favorite staff members, but the one who I would say influences me the most is most likely Miss Mo, because she just stays on top of everyone and she makes sure that you're doing well and having a good day and stuff like that.
I'm thinking of studying law and becoming a lawyer because I don't really like the laws we have now. So I'd like to maybe change them.
I like it. So you want to be an advocate?
Yes.
DeAndre?
I've thought about being a realtor. I always wanted to
What?
get rid of that. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I've never heard a kid say that.
I wanted to get rid of the whole bunch of empty vacant houses around my neighborhood, feel me? it just seemed like a good thing to do because it just make the neighborhood look bad. Even though it's good people around there, it just make my neighborhood look bad.
The whole staff and administration helped me get through my sophomore year all the way to my senior year.
King, I appreciate you sharing that space where you said that you had some adversity, you know, and that this hasn't always been an easy road, and there was a whole family that wrapped their arms around you. I want you to know how much we in Dayton Public Schools are proud of you, first of all, and how much we wish you the best in the future, and we hope that you stay in touch with us so we're able to talk about what a graduate looks like as they move out into the world and do things other than high school. Yeah, so, Adriana, again, awesome job. Awesome job. So we're here to talk about the academic action plan. I want to just give public acknowledgement to all the academicians that in our team who helped work on it, the academic team. A special thanks, though, to Lisa and Akeisha, who stopped me from, I was on some path going down some road I shouldn't be going down. They said, whoa. Let's make this thing we're doing small. And so Lisa Minor and Keisha Sheehy said we had to make it small, targeted, just a few goals. We just got here in July, August. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It's a marathon, but we got to run fast in the marathon. So this is our plan for this year and actually the future as well. I think you can build on this plan by doing it with fidelity. And so let's start off by talking about our action plan, and our core guiding principles. I know that two things are happening. That we started off the school year going to 28 sites, went to Stivers twice. And we talked about our 5 C's as guiding principles. And here's how I know they're sticking, because not just because I see the t-shirts that people are still wearing that we gave out at convocation, not just because I see it pop up on the website, but two things are happening. People email me and stop me and ask me about the guiding principles, and it's December. Typically, you forget about these things and move on. And I'm going to say this. People email me and send stuff, sometimes to ridicule me in this process around these guiding principles. They'll say things like, you didn't get right back to me. You're not following the 5 C's. And I'm like, well, at least they know what they are. They know what they are. So sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's in attack mode, but our 5 C's are out there, and we're trying to live by them. We don't always get it right, but it's a framework that we all know we can work from. All right, we think there are like 5 levers to move student achievement, move student outcomes, and change the culture in building and outcomes for kids. And those 5 levers, they have to work together, and at central office, building leadership, teachers, students, and families. Yeah, there has to be collaboration between those 5 entities, lots of communication between those 5 entities. We talked about competence, research-based practices. All those pieces have to work together. Now, central office, we're going to change it. Actually, we need to edit that to central services. That was your term, Lisa Minor, our associate superintendent. Central services means that we who work in central office, we provide support. And for people who don't know what central offices around the nation are typically places where non-principals, non-teachers, all the people who don't work in schools, they work there. In theory, it's to support personnel. And in theory, you're supposed to go to central office to help. Well, typically, people see central office as an escape from the building and an opportunity to get away from kids. I get to go to central office. I get to have a 90-minute lunch. There's no bell ringing. I'm not around anywhere between 300 and 1,500 kids. I have my own office. I have my own phone line. It's a nice, comfortable, quiet setting. And to the extent that I respond to people out in the field, well, I'll get to them when I get to them. You know, I used to be out there, but I'm not one of them anymore. I've made it. The Jeffersons, Wheezy and what's his name? George. Yeah. George and Wheezy. Moving on up. We made it to central office. Made it. And so we've taken an entirely different approach. This administration. We feel like not only have we not made it, but it's our job. We're compelled. It's a calling to go back and provide service to folks who are in buildings. And I have not said this publicly before, but the leadership teams, and in particular most of the cabinet, was constructed with this in my mind, that almost everyone there who's in the academic space, in fact, everyone who's an academician in that space, they've all been principals. So the 8 people who are at the core of the academic team, they've all been principals, ranging from elementary to high school, elementary, middle, and high school. And so they all know what it's like to open a building. They all know what it's like to do teacher evaluations. They all know what it's like to call parents. They all know what it's like to be in difficult situations with adults and kids. They all know what it's like to be after school for basketball, track, soccer, football. They all know what it's like to work 60, 65, 70 hours a week. They all know what it's like to be an urban principal. So we in this version of central office, we're all in our minds still principals, just with another title, and committed to what goes on out in the buildings and how do we help support. So that's what central office is. Building leadership. That could be the principal and key teachers. It could be the principal and other key individuals. It could be the principal, assistant principals, and a counselor. Building leaderships, they take up different forms depending on the level, but we have building leadership teams in each building. And then teachers, we are budgeted for 897 teachers. That includes intervention specialists. So that's all teachers. We have about 900. They form the core of what we do every day, but they're just part of a really critical group of people who kind of work in the interest of children here in Dayton Public Schools. There was a bus driver shown, his name is Kevin Drew. He was shown in that video at minute 1:22. At 1:22, there's a picture of Kevin Drew opening the door, and he is my trainer for my CDL training. But more importantly, he's a great human being who picks up our kids. So everybody's important, but right now I'm on tour talking about academics. I'm going to focus on teachers. But yeah, he's on there at 1:22. How do I know that? It's because I played it over and over and over. 50 times. I know everybody. And then students. I want to thank PIO, Alex, Adriana, and your team, and Ms. Sharon Goins, my partner. They're working on something right now where we're going to send parents a one-page request. We're going to send you the academic plan in a one-page request that says, hey, here's how you can help us help your children based on our academic plan. And it's going to be in parent language, not the all of our acronyms that we have, MTS, S, RTI, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to say, hey, here's how we can help you help us together for our students. And then last, families. Families aren't necessarily nuclear anymore. They're different in their structure, but their aspirations for their children are the same. They all want their children to be great and to be happy and to have a life that makes them fulfilled. And so how do we help families help students? So I'm ready. I explained to you what central office was. I'm just going to tell you the most important thing I think for us is to develop a vision and have strategies. Yeah, so we spend a lot of time in our district leadership team. We spend a lot of time in the buildings. We spend a lot of time meeting with principals. I saw you today. Spend a lot of time developing a vision and strategy. We're still working on vision, but the strategy is to simply put the work in and do what we do with fidelity. Those are all teacher words for, education words for do what you say you're going to do. So if you're going to have a professional learning community, then execute it and do it. If you say you want to have an academic team, then execute it and do it. That's kind of our job in central office. All those bullets mean that we're supposed to go out and make sure that the things that we're agreeing to do, that we're going to agree to do them and that they're going to get done. Building leadership, I want to just go with actively monitor implementation of policies, procedures, and routines. So we need our administrators out in buildings following up on what we all have agreed that we're going to do. So we set the tone together, we set the vision and strategies together, but we need somebody to walk around and say, hey, is it really happening or not? And not in a punitive way. Not that I got you, but it's not happening, and so here's some support, and here's how we're going to move through and provide support for you. And then teachers. What do we need from them? All of these bullets. The second one really is create a positive learning environment, and that all, it's in capital letters for a reason. That means all kids, no matter your disability, if you don't have a disability. And I tell you something else too, if you're gifted, we have to really pay attention to our best and brightest. We can't spend all of our time saying we have to close the gaps for these students. We have to close the gaps for these students. What about our best and brightest? How are we really pushing them and having them excel and have a gifted experience here in Dayton Public Schools? Because we have those students. Students. I'm not going to read them all, but the one I want to focus on is be responsible, be on time, be prepared, be ready to learn. We got to have you here at school, and then be ready to go. I see Kelly shaking her head. Yep, let's go. Be ready. Be ready. Yeah, when I go out on tour with students, I'm going to say that's the most important one for me. They might think differently. But got to be here. Got to be here and ready to go. The adults are here, ready to go. You have to be here ready to go too. And then families. What we really need is at the very top to promote daily student attendance. Because we know this to be true from an academic standpoint. If you're not here, we can't, the proverbial, teach you and you can't learn. So you have to be here. I've mentioned all of this in different spaces. I'm just going to go with culture of high achievement. That's what this is all built on. And those other pieces, we're going to put them in either parent terms, kid terms, and mail them to you with an explanation of what all this means. All right, this is my favorite slide because it tells you where we are right now. And we're getting better with our chronic attendance, and we're getting better with our attendance in general. And we're getting better, when we're not here yet, we're not with 8th grade math yet, but we're getting better with our attendance. And 3rd grade reading proficiency, let me say this. We have some really exciting news that I can't release yet, but our 3rd grade reading results are back, and we'll get the details out, but they're substantially better than they were last year at this time. Am I on point? Substantially better. And we've only been here 4 months. In fact, the 3rd grade reading results now in the fall, after 3 or 4 months, they exceed where some schools were last year after 6 or 7 months of work. So we cannot wait to release that information. So what are we focused on? Yeah, this is really the slide. I think this is really the parent slide for me. And it's actually the community slide and the business slide too. What are the things that we're focused on? Strategic plans are typically on a shelf somewhere. Typically people don't read them. Typically they're not discussed. But an action plan is like, what are you doing now? And you can remember what those things are. So right now we're working on culture and climate, third grade reading, or really pre-K to 3. And there's some other pieces that are involved in that. But when you see that, just think pre-K to 3. High school readiness, think about 8th graders. Think about those 8th graders going on to become freshmen. And then think about those freshmen going on to get a career or a college. A career or college success. So that's what we're doing. Our culture and climate in Dayton Public Schools, early literacy, getting 8th graders ready, because we know that's when we lose them. Freshman success gets you out of high school for your graduation rate. And then once you're gone, hey, what does it look like when you're gone? Where are you working, and are you able to matriculate in school? That really is, that's what we get up and think about and talk about every day. That's our work right there. So let's talk about the action steps. Like, how do we get there? And there's a lot of these. We're going to figure out how to put this in a space where even kids can digest it. I sent a video out to the whole district around what the academic action plan is for the adults. We're going to do one for the kids. Like, what does this academic action plan mean for them? But these check marks, they tell you what we're already doing, meaning this is an active plan. These are things that we're already doing, and when you don't see a check, we're not doing it. So we know when we get up every day, hey, we still have work to do, and these are the things we have to do to get there. So we are already increased the attendance clerks to 6 hours per each day. If attendance is important, then we need them to have more time to be able to call parents and to actively engage, monitor, and work on attendance. That shouldn't say truancy. We have to change that. They're going to be mad at me. The truancy. Tobet, I'm sorry. Yeah, they're going to be mad. It's not truancy anymore. That's like really negative. Yeah, truancy. Just listen to that. They want their office to be named. It's the attendance intervention team. Yeah, the attendance intervention team. If they see this, I want to apologize. We're going to get that fixed, not truancy. But the attendance intervention team has one additional member now, so they go out and help support our attendance plans. And then building-based attendance teams and coaches. We've had several meetings at central office, several meetings out in the buildings. Let me say this a different way. We have attendance teams now. Let me say that. We have attendance teams that actually exist. And in three schools, Thurgood Marshall, E.J. Brown, and Fairview, we have the Omega CDC. They and their supporters and their staff are out in neighborhoods, knocking on doors, doing home visits during the day when students are not in school, and we've seen a significant increase in those schools' attendance due to home visits, which I have always been a proponent of. Culture and climate, implement restorative practices, launch a leadership academy. Restorative practices, we go out to see if they're happening. We have an entire division of folks who work on restorative practices that have been trained, and they're in buildings working with students in those spaces. And our leadership academy. Kelly, did we bring you down to work on four Saturdays, didn't we? Yes, I saw people like, what? Yes, 4 Saturdays. We brought principals down in the fall to go through a leadership academy. Did they get a certificate for that?
They got their commitment.
That's right, they got their commitment. So we brought principals down on Saturdays from, was it 9 to 12?
Yeah, 9 to 12:30.
9 to 12:30, and it wasn't too bad, was it? It wasn't too bad at all. Went kind of fast. But because we started late, trying to catch up, we brought them down to go through how we were going to develop an action plan some of the gaps that we saw before, and some gaps that we know are in all districts from empirical data and research. So we've already launched our Leadership Academy. There are other spaces up there. We're not there yet, and we're not afraid to say we're not there yet. If we come back, this is December. If we come back in March and we don't have any more checks, that's a problem. If we come back in May and we don't have more checks, that's a problem. Third grade reading. I would say that transparent reporting of the data is important. We send someone to do a data report at almost every board meeting. In fact, it's a system. Report the data, tell the truth about what it is, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And then right after that, what's the plan to fix it? Do it again. Talk about the data, what's the plan to fix it? That's our system for how we operate. Except for this month, we're doing calamity. We're going to explain to you the process that goes into us closing school and why we do it the way we do it and the significant changes that we're going to have this year and how and when we close school as it relates to the respect for you as parents and also our employees. So, but typically we have a data presentation and then we talk about how we're going to fix it or how we're already fixing it. So transparent reporting of the data, that's one of the key third grade indicators for us. And then, I'm going to say this publicly because I hear it when I'm out and I see it and I sit in some of the professional PLCs, professional learning community meetings. Teachers are treated like professionals. They've been given the autonomy at each building to say, hey, these are changes we need to make for students to get better. And again, these early returns that we have gotten back say that our teaching staff, they're solid. They're solid. They're professionals. They're good. When they're treated like professionals, when you give them the opportunity to be professionals. And we're already seeing, again, huge early returns by saying, hey, yeah, we're not going to tell you what to do. You went to school, you have multiple degrees, you're here every day. So what Belhaven does doesn't look the same as what Fairview's doing, nor does that look the same as what Westwood's doing. And so we're seeing some really early great returns based on the data with that autonomy that we've given the buildings. Freshman success, you see checks for resiliency coordinators, mental health, they're in buildings, success coaches. Not only are the success coaches in buildings, but I just left Mellowdale. And I was there to watch basketball practice. It went really well. And one of the assistant principals came out and said, hey, Dr. Lawrence, I just want to tell you that those success coaches are amazing this year. They have their set of kids that they're following, and they know exactly what they're doing. So they have a caseload like they're doctors. And they check in with the kids on a regular basis around homework, attendance, extracurricular activities. Repeats itself all day long, every day. And so now we have folks who have clear direction, and then we can go out and check on it. And so that's, our freshmen, we should begin to see some success there. I think at the semester we're doing grades. Yeah, to see where we are with grades in terms of freshman retention. So if we're doing better with freshman retention or not from years past. So this is what we're doing. If it's not working, then we have to reevaluate it. But we're going to tell the truth. We're going to show the data, tell the truth, reevaluate, and move on. But that is really a big thing for us right now, freshman success rate. And we'll see what happens once the semester ends on the 19th. I'm sure in January we'll have Mindy will have the data for us. And Mindy, if you're watching, we miss you when you're coming back. High school readiness, mandated youth science assessment for all 7th and 8th graders. We're gonna take this seriously, this youth assessment. We're gonna treat it like it's an OST test, Ohio State test. That means planned days, planned hours, over the course of several days, a quiet space, follow up with that youth science assessment to see where kids are, especially middle schoolers. Middle school is the focus for us. It is one of the most tender and scary times for you as a kid. And if we don't put the right supports around you, we can lose you before you even get into high school. And so our middle schools matter. We put an enormous amount of resources there, and we have a learn to earn.
The career navigator.
Yes, we have a career navigator. I haven't seen him. You know more about him. What does he do?
He has a targeted group of kids, and he works with them on their attendance, their behavior, their grades, and helps them use the youth science assessment to plan their future. So they'll have a graduation success plan even before they get into the freshman year. So they'll know exactly what they need to do to graduate and be successful beyond high school.
Thank you, Lisa Minor. We just left. We just finished working on a deal. I think that's going to be groundbreaking. We have to find a way to, if you're going to get ready for college and career readiness, you can't do it with long-term subs. So we're working on something right now at the local university to be able to provide university college instructors for our high school students in the sciences and math. So if we can do this, then you get folks who have a master's level degree in science and math, providing instructional support for our children. We can really go fast. We can get you ready for what we call, these are the spaces where you're pushed out of college. You know, there are math and science in that first year with expectations that you won't get through with that. They're like separators. They separate kids who stay in college from those who don't. And we have to do a much better job of getting you ready. And that's really been a significant focus of ours. And we're really excited to be able to work through this with the rest of our organization and a local university to be able to put this together so that we can provide equity for our kids at the grades 11 and 12 in particular. There's a lot of bullets there, a lot of arrows. That's really for us, the educators. In some space, it's like our plan so that we can stay on course and we can know exactly where we should be and what we're doing. I can't wait for us to construct how we write this to you and how we request your help as parents and as citizens, as business community and activists and groups. Because I think we're going to be able to work through this together. This is not just Dayton Public Schools, but it's an academic action plan that was developed with the help of Learn to Earn, the NAACP, and the Omega CDC. So everything we do, just about, we do it in collaboration with someone else. We don't have all the answers. Every now and then, I try to make a decision by myself and I get my hand slapped by my team. They say, "What? Get yourself together. You got to check in with people. You missed something." And so we try to make sure other community folks are involved when we're making decisions because we miss things sometimes. And so this is an active plan. That means we'll be back out in March, back out in May, back out in August to tell you that we're back. And here's the successes that we had from last year based on the plan. And here's some things that weren't successful. And here are the changes we're going to make because they weren't successful. That's the key. Everything we do in this administration is not going to work. We are clinical practitioners in education. That means, whether you know it or not, your medical doctor, they are practicing on you. There are some parameters that they have around what is supposed to work, and they use best practices. We do the same thing. It just happens to be in education. And so that's kind of like an overview of our plan. To my team, did I leave anything out? Is there anything that I left out? Or better, is there anything that you want to add? Because you won't, I'm sure there's something I left out and you won't show me yet, but is there anything you want to add? Okay. I mean, I've been practicing. I mean, I was practicing last night, late. Any questions? Oh, no, cut it out. I'm ready.
I think it was the second slide. It had
Go back.
central office
I got you.
and all those other ones way back there.
I got you.
Scroll back. No, it was past that. Down, down,
That
down. Might have been that one. Yeah,
Okay.
that one.
All right.
I see a set of legs with the top cut off. Does that just symbolize what the school board has done to the superintendent by their hiring of a consulting group to come in here and poach you and take you to some other district because they now understand what we are lucky to have? And what assurance do we have that you are not going to go to a larger district now that Alma Group has seen what you're doing?
Oh my gosh. That's a good one. I'll respond to that and say that, we have constructed a really good team. And the team is purpose driven. I heard Lisa Minor, our associate superintendent, say that this morning in a meeting, that we're purpose driven and that this is personal for us because most of us have grown up in the city, in the region, in the area. Most of the folks on the academic team still live in Dayton. We're all coming toward the end of our career. There is no other thing after this.
Sure there is. You retire and then you get rehired and do like the last superintendent and all those people down at the ESC. It's called double dipping. Come on now.
A mess. Anyway, there is no like thing after this really for us, right? And so for us it's about, hey, how do you leave a legacy of work and leave a foundation so that next group of young people can come along and continue to push Dayton Public Schools forward. And you've given me an opportunity to say publicly that, this is even more than a labor of love. The people that I work with, I have long-standing relationships with them. We are very, very close. We actually have a profound professional love for each other. I was Miss Dooley's assistant principal 15, 16 years ago. She taught me how to be a principal, and she is generally regarded as one of the best. Lisa Minor and I worked together for 4 or 5 years as chief supervising principals. I don't know that there's a tougher job in central office. When you supervise principals, there's a crisis every day, and you have to deal with those crises. And we did that together, side by side, for a long time. I know very few people who read more or who are more committed and passionate. I have my security blanket here. They were the people who were here when I was at Thurgood. You ever heard of Linus? Yeah, I have a blanket I go around with all the time. And that's Sharon Goins and Judy Spurlock. I mean, loyal, smart, tough, committed. That's hard to leave, David.
So you're saying you're going to stay here if the city board decides to hire you?
I want to be in Dayton.
Okay,
Yes.
That's what I want to hear.
Yes, I want to be.
Thank you.
You got me. You got me off track. You got me off topic. All right, back to academics. How are you?
I think Mario's in.
She does?
I just went up. So how is this rolling out on the building level? How are the teachers getting involved in this transformation?
Lisa.
So my question was kind of
Similar to that.
similar, so I'm going to shout out there. Good stuff. First, I want to do this too. Yeah. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
Thank you.
So, what does it look like, or what can we do to make sure we pack the house every time we do one of these?
Yes.
Because the more people need to hear
Yes.
this.
Yes.
That's including our students,
Yes.
whether they're student ambassadors, middle of the road kids, struggling kids.
Mhm.
How do we get the kids in? How do we get the parents
Yes.
in? How do we get
Yeah.
teachers to come back
So I don't have the answer, but I'm willing to sit down and chop it up with anybody who's willing.
Right.
Okay.
So, I'll take this in pieces.
Yes, this is like you prepared a Thanksgiving dinner and nobody showed up.
Right.
I got you.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll take this in pieces. First of all, let me start by saying that we took your feedback and we are doing a complete revamp of the website.
Okay.
Total.
Okay.
So how we present, right, in our main medium of technology, we need to fix that so that we can attract people. So we took that from you. And then Lisa, I'll let you walk through how we went through this with teachers and principals. And I would just, before Lisa starts, I would just say that we started by saying we need more time, and we want to thank the Board of Education. They allowed us to do something that really is not normal. We revised the calendar in the middle of the year and said, look, we need 3 additional professional development days. We just do. And we added one right after Thanksgiving with the thought of, this is how we're going to begin to roll it out. And I'll let you take it from here.
So I have a question before she speaks. I'm a parent of a Meadowdale senior, and I just wanted to say one of the instruments they use to contact the parents is that sneak peek of the week. I really enjoy that because it tells you deadlines for college scholarships. It gives you events that's going on, sports events, chess clubs, everything. Mm-hmm. So I just want to tell you, since Eddie Davis has been the principal, I really enjoy that sneak peek of the week because it's a forecaster. Nobody wants to know about the deadlines after they passed. So that's one of the instruments he uses, and it's on Parent Square. Mm-hmm. And I think all the schools might benefit from that.
We're going to take that, put it in the books, and I actually asked the chiefs about that. I was like, hey, how do principals communicate with schools? And what does that look like? And that's part of our current discussion. We're going to accelerate that, and you're going to do the how we're rolling it out. But I want to make this brief comment about Principal Eddie Davis. He's an example of something that we don't see. I didn't mention it here in the academic action plan, but we've been very intentional around finding and supporting leaders who eat, live, breathe, sleep, Dayton Public Schools. He's a Meadowdale graduate, played football there. I think he ran track too. And he's so passionate about the work that's being done there. And I don't know if you were here when I said I just came from Meadowdale. I was just sitting there watching basketball practice. Like the girls ended, the boys started. It's late. Both he and his assistants are there, and the cheerleaders are going, track's going. They had a couple of clubs going. None of that existed like that last year.
You're right.
I mean, for real. I mean, he is doing it. And this is just the beginning. And he loves to ask for information, advice, and support. He's a poster for what we want to continue to put in buildings as leaders.
Well, as parents, we do appreciate that. Also, I have teachers that text me. I mean, if my child is, not necessarily, my child is like a student leader and an honor roll student. However, they'll text me if he's having an off day or if he's sluggish or if he's not as attentive as he was the day before. They will drop a one-line text. And that really helps because then I'm able to have that conversation with them when they get home. And sometimes it's just overload or trying to run cross-country, student president, this, that, and the other, and I have to rearrange their schedule, put their priorities in a different order so that they can excel academically. So I just want to tell you, you have some teachers that are more relatable to students than others.
Mm-hmm. What's your son's name?
Yeah.
Stacy.
Yeah, I think he's in my focus. Like, I have a focus group coming up in Meadowdale. He's in the focus group.
Yeah. And Colonel Mason will text me a one-liner. Some teachers are just more relevant to students. You know, I think all the teachers should do that. You have an excellent guidance counselor as well. And she fills in when teachers aren't there. And I like that as well. She also lets me know what he needs on the ACT to pursue career options. So whatever you're doing this year at Meadowdale, I see much improvement.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'll relay that to Eddie and his entire team. And like I said, I have a focus group out there. Your son's in it. I'm on my way. I can't wait to tell you my name.
It's my grandson, but you know. It's
Well, see, yeah,
my son is Fred Cox.
Yeah, well,
That's your boy, don't
you know, he and I could talk about him for days. We were just together.
Well, we give kudos because he came through Dayton Public, graduated out of UD, so it's really a good system if you work it, but you have to be a participating parent. You have to
Please let my fraternity brother know I said hello. So, Lisa, you go right ahead. Let's talk about how we roll this out to the whole community, or how we did.
Thank you for sharing about Meadowdale, and Principal Davis is amazing. There's more great stuff coming. I got something on my desk about a jazz quartet that's about to start at Meadowdale. So there's more and more opportunities, and we're doing that at all the schools. But the question was, how are we sharing it with teachers? How are they involved? And Superintendent a couple of weeks ago, we were excited about it, gave us a book to read called All In. And All In tells you that when you're putting something out there in an organization, it's up and down continuously. We have to get the feedback from all levels of the organization. So we have a district leadership team that encompasses every part. It's teachers on it, principals on it, all different departments. We work from our academic plan. It's a living document. That rolls down to the principals. On November 27th, when we had Professional Development Day, all schools were required and did present the academic action plan to their staffs. When they're working in their building leadership team, they're working from the academic action plan. So it's a living document. I got a call just yesterday. There's a metric on the plan, or one of the action steps that says all the 8th graders or 9th graders have to have the graduation plan. Well, they were calling actually from Meadowdale saying, we need the plan, and they were getting started right away. So we're excited about it. That's how we can make adjustments, because teachers are giving us feedback. We even have some teachers that may have missed the presentations calling saying, where is the action plan? And we're telling them where it is on the website. So that's a positive right there, the fact that they're even asking about it and wanting more details. So we're excited. When we meet every month as a leadership team, that's what we work from. So it's not something that's just up there. We work from it, and you'll see we promised, and I think our team, NAACP, and the team that helped us put it together said, make sure you tell us the metrics as it goes. So on the website with the plan, we put on the 3rd grade scores. We have a whole sheet on there where you can see what the staff attendance is and what our student attendance is. You'll see it all. So thank you for the question.
And Ms. Williams, you're going to be pleased with our 3rd grade reading scores.
Put me on the spot. We're all going to be pleased. Yes.
Well, I already told them that.
Right. Okay.
I already told them that. I want to tell you.
I expect that, yes.
I have a question. The Dayton Public 5C, I think that's great. One of my questions is the communication. I'm a parent who has a daughter who goes to Rosa Park. And a lot of us parents, we're having issues with communication within that school. There's not a lot of information being known to us. And so sometimes I have to find out information through other parents, and I feel like I should be able to hear that from the secretary or the principal. I like the apps that you all have, the apps that you have for the transportation, but there's glitches. And so I was just wondering, are you all working on those glitches? And that was a good idea that you all came up with. And the Parent Square app, I really love that app. It's really good, but what I've noticed is a lot of parents didn't even know that you all have an app.
I'll take the transportation one. Yes, because I still deal with transportation. So yes, we are working on those glitches. Actually, we had a meeting today at 4 o'clock to talk about going back to the vendor and saying how do we get through some of these glitches, because we're getting that from several parents. And then Parent Square, the owners of that, is that you all, Adriana?
Yeah, Alex oversees it. So that's just, through the chain of communication. I wrote down to make a social media post about the fact that we do have an app. Typically, the schools will tell you, here's how you sign up. So maybe we incorporate in the, here's how you sign up, just so you know, you can, put a QR code. There's an app too, kind of thing. So you're not just getting texts and emails, you can go to the app too, so.
Yeah.
It's good feedback, so.
Yeah, y'all doing good work. It's good because a lot of people don't know about the
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, and I want to say, Dr. Lawrence and DPS, I thank you all for giving us as parents this platform, this opportunity, and letting us know what's going on. I just want to say thank you.
You're more than welcome. There is a space we can get better. I'm thinking about that Anthony Muhammad tight and loose.
Yes.
So what we're doing at Meadow, what we try to do is we try to offer school buildings autonomy and flexibility. And a lot of our research says that schools typically can thrive in that space. But it also suggests that like a kid, you can't just let them run all over the place, right? Sometimes you have to say, hey, sit down right here. Right? And it may be that all principals on a particular day are mandated to send communications out to parents. On whatever day that is, Tuesday News Day, Wednesday Hump Day, whatever it is. But on that day, 28 buildings have to send a message out, right? And it may be one of those, we gotta get tight with that. Thanks for that feedback. I've been thinking it, and I've been talking to Judy and Aaron about it. I've been processing it, and now I think you all just pushed me off the ledge. This whole piece right here, it's gonna have to be this day. Everybody in Dayton knows you should receive information from your principal. Everybody, whole district.
I want to piggyback on what you said about talking to the teachers, communicate with. I got a grandson in middle school and I have a grandson in elementary, and the teachers communicate with me weekly at the elementary school because I'm the Title I representative for Edison School. But at the middle school, E.J. Brown, my grandson teacher, he talks to me at least, or send me a text or leave me a message at least twice a week. I love that school. He's into sports, coach, give the phone number, any update information. He's Johnny on the spot. I like that. And Parent Square for Edison School, A1. The principal, that administrative staff, A1.
That's another opportunity for me to say that E.J. Brown, another complete turnaround.
Yes, I heard.
I
heard some bad stuff, but I walk in there, it's like,
oh, it's quiet.
Yeah,
quiet.
Yeah, so
yeah. I think that's got to be the narrative that we get out here too around Dayton Public Schools. There are a lot of individuals, folks, and groups and entities that want us to be successful. And I'm typically overwhelmingly positive, but I'm going to say something just now may not be positive. It's going to address one of the darker sides of what we do with public education. There are small pockets that they profit off of us not being successful. So some of the things that are said and written and run about us on the news, some of them are accurate. And the other part of it is you got to find somebody that you think you want to kick, right? And unfortunately, we're that person sometimes. But when we start to hear things like this, the more stories we hear like that, the less you want to kick somebody when they're down. They're not down. They're getting up now. That ain't getting up. I don't want. Hey. So we're getting there. We're getting there.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah. You have a timeout?
Yeah, it's 6. It's 7 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for being our timer.